Hello everyone, Treecks here and welcome back to Driver 2. Welcome to the final part of the game. The game that can be divided into 4 parts because of it actually consisting out of 1. But right now, 3 of the 4 cities have been fully covered, excluding a few post-game things. But when it comes to the story of this game, the undercover mode, 3/4 of the game has indeed been completed. And we can begin working on that final one. So, like always, our next point on the agenda is going to be starting Rio in the driving games. Like I always start the city. First, we're going to be taking a look at all of the other things we can do in the city, other than covering the story. Hopefully, we are yet again going to be having a lot of fun. This final city might indeed be the most interesting one. Especially whenever we start doing a survival. That is actually just screaming awesomeness, no matter which city we're playing. But we're going to be doing them in order, like always. We're going to get started with Quick Chase. We're going to get introduced to the city in Brazil by stopping a car. First off, showing off the final loading screen in this game. Of course, this time with Tanner himself, the driver. Time to reveal the final playground in Driver 2. Let's call all of these cities playgrounds. Because technically they are, right? This is how the city looks when it comes to its design. But here is the map of Rio de Janeiro. We start off at the Centro, the central part of the city. We see a couple of other famous landmarks from the city. Santa Tereza. Botafogo actually gets representation. Of course, what is Rio de Janeiro without the famous beach of the Copacabana? It's also been made in the southwest. Urca, the small little island that is on the east side of the city. Flamengo, the park area. Yeah, it all looks familiar. If you're familiar with Rio, at least. But our first order of business is ram the car. We get 3.5 minutes in order to stop this guy. Let's go hope. Secretly, deep down, that it's going to take a while, so we're going to be able to see a lot of the city already in this first mission. I'm pretty sure this guy is always programmed to drive towards the Flamengo area, park area. It's also going to be the starting point for survival, by the way. It's a really awesome area to play around in the city, I must admit, so... It's also fun to try to get this guy. There's a lot of these grass hills here, which we can use to make some awesome jumps. Also not per se going to be easy to stop this guy here. The roads actually twist around a lot here. Not per se easy to get your bearings here. It would be fun if this guy actually starts riding around on the beach. There's also a couple of fun things we can actually do on the beach in the city. Unlike in the other cities, like Chicago and Havana, we're actually going to be able to drive in the water in the city. Not something that's going to be recommended to do right now, but if this guy actually happens to do so, it would be fun. As you can see over here, there's water actually accessible to us. More about that later, not right now. But this is not the kind of minigame where it's recommended to actually start playing around with that. This guy actually cut you off. Oh, yeah. Good one, but not perfect. He was able to still get away from me. We are more than halfway done with this guy. Now, I'm going to be able to cut you off again, like this. And we've got you. And that is how we roll. And that is indeed how you're supposed to do it. Because of the nature of these kind of missions, where we need to just hit him a number of times and not per se do actual damage, this is a very viable way to try to do it. Just touch him. And make sure to keep on touching him. Because that way the damage bar will increase. And that was the final quick chase in this game actually. Awesome. Now, time to actually also close off Quick Getaway. 2 more in this game. The one in Centro we're going to be doing first. The final police in this game. The Rio Police Force. Are they going to be able to stop us? So far, nobody has been able to stop us. Not including the survival cops, of course. Let's go get used to the police speaking Portuguese. Try to lose this guy. And he's already screwing up. Let's actually go... Oh! I was not expecting that building to be sticking out a bit. Still going. It's not something you can say, sir. Let's go south. Might be able to lose him at the Flamengo area. While he's destroying a civilian car. Oh, no, not going to be able to use you. Well, so far no progress. Moving back into the Flamengo area. Perhaps we're going to be able to use the many trees and the many grass hills here to screw up the police here. It would be fun if he actually bumps into that light over there. Oh! Nice one! I hope you guys are already able to see why I like this area so much. 2 minigames, and in both of them we've already been here. I guess that is already saying something. But the next one is going to be in a different area. The next chase is going to be at Copacabana. And then I think going towards Flamengo is going to be a bit too difficult to do, so allow me not to do that. Perhaps I'm going to be able to make use of the water here. Might be tricky to lure them in, without also going in there myself. It is of course not going to be good for you if you actually enter the water. That will actually slowly wreck you. And I don't think I'm going to be able to lure the police in there without going in there myself. So it might be difficult. It's always very tempting to use the beach here in Copacabana to play around with the police. Perhaps a bit more so in survival, but with this guy so close to me, it's not going to be an option anyway. Let's see if we can use the city like always. Oh, no. Not like that, of course. Bad start. Oh. Come on, hit something. No. Try to miss a car myself, making sure he does hit it. By barely scraping past one. No. Not like that, of course. Yeah. He's still behind me. Or at least he was. Come on. No. Oh, there was a roadblock on the street on the left over there. Yeah, there we go. And that he was not able to cope with. Still don't have him yet. The final hit actually looked like to be a successful one. Oh, bus. Still behind me, come on. Hit something. Preferably more than one thing, because one thing is not going to be enough. That we have found out in the meantime. Let's go take a turn here. Perhaps that will actually work. No, 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 no! Oh! There we go, back on my feet. And it's also immediately going to be good enough for the mission. I lost him. Wow. That was actually totally worth it. My decision to try to take a turn there, that was definitely worth it. I thought I might be able to lose him there. I indeed was correct about that. I was able to lose him there. But in the meantime, something funny happened. So, good decision. Time for some gate racing and trailblazing, don't you agree? Both of the gate racings and perhaps one of the trailblazers. That we should be able to do. Just like in Vegas, and that way we should be able to have plenty of time for survival coverage, being able to do the checkpoints, and that second Trailblazer mission, or perhaps both of them. We'll see how long this will actually take. I'm going to assume these are going to be difficult, so this might take a couple of tries, we shall see. First gates in the city, Copacabana. Let's go get started. Like always, the beginning is going to be easy. The cones are spaced apart pretty far, making the gates easy to pass, even with traffic in the way. At this point, that should not bother us. It looks like the cones are slowly going to be making their way onto the beach. Not per se a bad thing, because there's no traffic here. And because of the contrast in colors, it's also easier to see the cones. Although it's usually not that difficult to actually see them coming. But it looks like it was only temporarily. We've made our way back onto the streets again. Making a right turn. Well, reaching 40 checkpoints. Still perfect. Right again. So far also getting lucky with the traffic. Now heading north, halfway. That was 50. Man, are we going to be zigzagging across all of these streets? Looks like we are. Oh, yeah, there we go. That turn wasn't good. First mistake. Concentration. At some point that's going to be necessary. At some point you're going to need to start your concentration. Because otherwise we're going to be making even more mistakes. So far only 2. Oh, hello! Mr. Bus Driver, I'd like to have a word with you. Once I'm done, I'm going to be returning to you. I need to have a word. Just like the backwards flying ambulance in Vegas. This was something similar. Okay, now things really start becoming difficult. 10 seconds, also need to be careful not to make too many mistakes here. Come on. 94. 4 seconds remaining. Nice. Not perfect, I know. You don't have to tell me. I know it's not perfect, but I'm also not going for perfect, because otherwise I'm going to be sitting here all evening, and that is something I don't actually wish to do, so... I think because of the difficulty of the nature of these missions, like I said earlier, this is good enough. I've been able to reach the end of the pathway at least. That's the most important thing. That said, there is going to be another one. And we can of course try to improve our record. 94 on the first mission of Rio. Are we going to be able to make 95 or even more out of this one? I'm not too sure which one this one is going to be. I'm not too familiar with all of these driver games in this game, as you may know. I cannot actually remember a track taking place at Santa Teresa, but the game says so. Knowing the streets there might become difficult. Also depends on where we start actually. We start off all the way in the north, it looks like, at the dock area. Easy start, no traffic. Easy gates. It's an easy way to warm up our engine, you might say. Starting off in the Centro area. And then we're slowly going to be making our way towards Santa Teresa by the looks of it. Otherwise, the game wouldn't be calling this Santa Teresa. This dock area is easy. I'm even able to go full speed here. I'm going to be able to keep my timer up easily therefore. Oh. Yeah, but going fast also has a downside. I guess I don't have to explain that. But still, even with the penalty, my timer is well above 30 seconds right now. Indeed indicating that I'm able to go faster through the gates than the time is actually decreasing. This first half of the gate racing I've been able to increase my timer instead of decreasing. However, that's going to change right now. Dropping below 30 slowly. The timer shouldn't be a problem here. The traffic is going to be. The moment we actually enter the streets, and immediately traffic is a hindrance. What a surprise. Get out of my way. We should actually be closing off streets for stuff like this. It's not a good idea to keep the streets open. I'm able to lose 10 seconds already in this part. The moment I exited the docks I was still above 30 seconds, remember? And now we're quickly losing time. That's how easily this can actually become more difficult. Oh. Well, exact same score, another 94. That is one thing, but I also don't really understand why this mission was called Santa Teresa. It clearly wasn't in Santa Teresa. We also didn't even make our way there, so... Let's go recall this mission, the Centro mission. It was completely pointless of the game to call this Santa Teresa. That said, let's go continue with Trailblazer. And let's go take a look where these actually take place in Rio. Leblon and Praça de Bandeira. At least assuming they are going to be at those locations. We just found out it is not a guarantee. This one I'm not sure of. I can kind of remember this one. Unlike the gate racing one, that one I clearly misremembered. This one is... Yeah, indeed, south part of the city. And this one is correct. Let's go get started. We just came from a mission where we needed to avoid the traffic cones, but now we actually do need to touch them. Including the ones that are inside of traffic. Screw you. Actually spawning right on top of a cone, how dare you. Ah! It is safe to say that I indeed really like these kind of games. And that is something you can clearly see already if you've been following my Let's Play channel for a while. But if there's one thing that I need to say is the biggest annoyance in these kind of games, despite me liking them, it is indeed the traffic that is always in these games. I can of course understand that we're not going to be able to have these kind of games on empty streets. But still, it does not take away the fact that traffic is still a big annoyance. A very big one. They waste time and they're actually able to make me miss traffic cones. I've missed 2 of them so far, I'm pretty sure. Perhaps even more. We're not even able to always see the traffic cones. Because of cars actually driving straight through them. Not something I like. This is something I like way more. Going through alleyways. Driver at its base core. Driving through alleyways. Oh, what the hell is this? Come on. Unfair placement of cones. That is also a thing. We are still going. Not for a whole lot longer, I think. Looking at my time. I'm losing time a bit quicker than I'm actually hitting cones right now. Ooh. And that actually put me to a complete stop. That indeed might actually make me run out of time now. Oh. It would be more beneficial if I'm able to keep on going full speed here. But of course the traffic is not going to allow me to do that. Oh. Can we still do this? 4 seconds. Not too sure how many I still need to go, but let's go. Oh, hit these. There's also still one to the left over here. I finished at 98. Well, this kind of feels like one that I should be able to do without making any mistakes, but yeah, you need to get lucky with the traffic. No, that is definitely not a guarantee. That never is. I might be able to get lucky on a couple of other points where I missed a couple. If I try again. But then I'm probably going to get annoyed by the traffic on a different location and still end up missing 1 or 2 traffic cones. It is just difficult, no matter what, to do this perfectly. To get lucky enough for that. But perhaps next time I'm going to be able to. There is still one more traffic cone mission that we need to do here in this game, so I will see you folks next time when we do the final Trailblazer. Take a look at the final checkpoint missions in this game and start playing around with the police for the final time in this game. The heavy duty police, with that I mean. Treecks out!